Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You ready to get into it today?
Absolutely. I'm excited for this one.
We're taking a look at Ratan Tata today.
Yeah, a real fascinating figure.
So much more than just a business leader.
Right? Yeah, you've given us a ton of material on him.
A lot to unpack about his life, his values.
Definitely. And how those values translate into lessons for all of us, not just aspiring tycoons.
Exactly. So where do we even begin with a guy like Ratan Tata?
Right.
I mean, born in 1937, right into one of India's most prominent families. Talk about privilege.
It's interesting, though, because while his family's wealth and influence are undeniable, his childhood wasn't exactly a walk in the park.
Right, his parents separated when he was young.
Yeah, and he was primarily raised by his grandmother, which I think played a huge role in shaping his worldview.
That makes sense. It's easy to imagine that kind of upbringing fostering a sense of resilience, even humility.
Absolutely. Even though he could have easily just coasted on his family name, he seems to have had this drive to prove himself.
And that's clear from his education, too. I mean, Cornell for architecture and engineering, then Harvard for business. We're talking top-tier institutions.
And yet his first job after all that was on the shop floor of Tata Steel.
Shoveling limestone, if I remember correctly.
Exactly. Not exactly the glamorous entry one might expect from a Harvard MBA.
Speaks volumes about his work ethic, though, right? Like he wanted to learn the business from the ground up.
Exactly. It's that hands-on approach, that understanding of the smallest details that I think set the stage for his later success.
Okay, so let's fast forward a bit here. It's 1991. He takes over as chairman of the entire Tata Group, which even back then was massive.
A sprawling conglomerate, everything from salt to software.
Right. But it wasn't exactly the well-oiled machine it is today, was it?
Not quite. There was this sense of untapped potential, but also a lack of cohesion between the different companies.
And that's where Tata's vision really comes into play. This push for modernization, streamlining operations, and really making a mark on the global stage.
And he wasn't afraid to make bold moves to achieve that vision.
Like the acquisition of Jaguar Land Rover in 2008. Talk about a gutsy move during a global recession.
I remember people thought he was crazy at the time, buying a luxury car brand when the entire auto industry was on the verge of collapse.
But Tata saw something that others didn't. He understood the value of a legacy brand. And he had this long-term vision.
And it paid off big time. Look at Jaguar Land Rover today. They're thriving.
It's a testament to his risk appetite for sure, but also to his strategic thinking. Those weren't reckless gambles, they were calculated risks.
And we see that same foresight with the Tetley Tea acquisition in 2000.
Right, completely different industry. But again, the strategic move to tap into a massive global market with huge growth potential.
And it solidified Tata Group's presence in the food and beverage sector, something they'd been wanting to do for a while.
So we're talking about a leader with incredible business acumen. But there's another aspect of Tata that really stands out to me, his integrity.
Oh, absolutely. There are countless stories that illustrate this. But the one that always comes to mind is the aviation incident in the 90s.
Right when Tata Group was trying to break into the Indian aviation market.
It was a highly competitive landscape, and there were well-established players who weren't afraid to play dirty.
And Tata Group hit a roadblock. They needed government approval, but the process was mired in bureaucracy and corruption.
And Tata flat out refused to engage in bribery, which was sadly commonplace at the time.
He was adamant about doing things the right way, even if it meant delaying or even losing out on a lucrative opportunity.
It would have been easier to just go with the flow, but he stuck to his principles.
And that speaks volumes about his character, right? In a world where profit often trumps ethics, he was unwavering.
Exactly. It makes you think about the true cost of success, doesn't it?
For Tata, it seems like ethical conduct wasn't just a nice to have, it was non-negotiable.
Exactly. And that commitment to integrity wasn't just limited to his business dealings. He was also a passionate philanthropist.
Right, and not just in a superficial way. We're talking about deep-rooted commitment to social good.
Absolutely. He truly believed in leveraging his success to make a positive impact on the world around him. And that's where we really see the depth of his legacy unfold. I mean, over 60% of Tata Group profits go to charitable trusts.
60%. That's unbelievable. I had no idea it was that high.
It's remarkable, and it's not just about writing checks either. We're talking about supporting groundbreaking institutions.
Like the Tata Memorial Hospital.
A pioneer in cancer care in India.
And the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, pushing the boundaries of scientific discovery.
It's that ripple effect you were talking about earlier. His vision extending far beyond just the business world.
Absolutely. And it's not just about these big institutions either. He was also really passionate about supporting young entrepreneurs.
Oh, absolutely. Those were some of his favorite investments, weren't they?
It seemed like he got so much joy out of mentoring these startups, providing guidance and support.
It wasn't just about the money for him. It was about nurturing potential. Seeing these young companies grow and thrive.
It reminds me of that quote by the legendary investor Warren Buffett. He said something like, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago."
I loved that quote, and I think it perfectly encapsulates Tata's philosophy. He was always thinking about the future, about planting those trees for generations to come.
And he wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo either.
Oh no, he was never one to shy away from a challenge.
But he did it all with such grace and humility.
It's amazing when you think about it. Here's a man who could easily let success go to his head, but he remained remarkably grounded.
You never got the sense that he was in it for the fame or the recognition.
It was always about the work, about making a difference.
And that's a powerful legacy to leave behind, don't you think?
Absolutely. He really embodied that idea of servant leadership, putting the needs of others before his own.
And inspiring countless others to do the same.
Right. It's not about wielding power, it's about empowering others.
It makes you think about what true leadership really means, doesn't it?
It does. And you know what else strikes me about Tata?
What's that?
He had this incredible ability to connect with people from all walks of life, whether it was employees on the factory floor or CEOs of multinational corporations. He had this way of making everyone feel seen and heard.
He was known for his active listening skills.
Right, exactly. He genuinely cared about what people had to say. And that's such a rare quality in any leader, let alone someone of his stature.
It reminds me of that quote by the Dalai Lama. He said, "When you talk, you're only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new."
I love that. And it speaks to Tata's humility, too, always willing to learn and grow, even at the pinnacle of his career.
He never stopped questioning, never stopped pushing himself and those around him to be better.
And isn't that what true leadership is all about? Inspiring others to reach their full potential?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions, fostering a culture of curiosity and innovation.
And that's a legacy that extends far beyond Ratan Tata himself. It's something that continues to shape the Tata Group and inspire countless individuals around the world.
You know, when I think about everything we've discussed today about his upbringing, his values, his remarkable achievements,
This is quite a story.
it really is. And it all boils down to this. Ratan Tata was more than just a successful businessman. He was a leader of extraordinary integrity, vision, and compassion.
A true icon, not just in the world of business, but also in the realm of philanthropy and social change.
And his story reminds us that true success isn't just about personal gain. It's about leveraging our skills and resources to make a positive impact on the world around us.
It's about leaving the world a better place than we found it.
Well said. And on that note, I want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this incredible journey into the life and legacy of Ratan Tata.
It's been a pleasure sharing this deep dive with you.
If you're eager to learn more about Ratan Tata or any of the topics we discussed, be sure to check out the show notes for links to all the fascinating source material we explored. Until next time, keep those brains engaged and those inspirations flowing.